is the Glass Cannon Network.
Welcome, everybody. I'd like you to join my friends and I as we get in the trunk. We're back for another episode of Get in the Trunk. It's season 5. Who's excited out there? Sydney!
Hi.
That was just so fake. Come on, man.
What was I supposed to do?
You were supposed to like scream at the top of your lungs,
right,
like
wait,
you
go
were
again,
like
go
at a
again.
concert, like like absolutely, like Prince just walked out on stage, like absolutely lose it.
Go again,
I
go
would
again.
scream if Prince walked out on stage.
Who's excited for tonight's Get in the Trunk? Sydney.
That man died.
There
There's
we
a ghost
go.
on stage. Run, everyone.
That's the kind of juice I need to get started after several hours of technical difficulties.
yeah.
Gotta stretch a little bit and get warmed up into the episode. How's everybody doing tonight, Troy? How you feeling? How you doing, good buddy?
I'm trying to tilt my sunglasses so you can't see the pornography that I'm looking at.
Your sunglasses are very reflective.
I like to look at pornography while you open the show.
To get excited?
Just gets me going. And it's really graphic stuff.
It's real twisted stuff.
I can never tell if you're in character or not. I don't know. The line is so blurry.
Yeah, that's what. That's a lot of people. A lot of people are getting that hint. They're figuring it out. They're like, the line between Troy Lavallee and Roger Cumstone is frighteningly thin.
It's a little concerning.
He has a few more confirmed kills than I.
just a few. I still remember the ep where I think it's 393. I want to say 343, something like that. The ep that you said it, like Skid lost it from what I remember, and was just generally like, it's just not possible. Like for the world's greatest warrior, it's not possible. It was quite enjoyable. Speaking of Skid,
he blew up a lot of buildings.
Okay, that's fair. How you doing, Skid?
I'm real good. I'm having the time of my life.
Whoa.
Again, really selling it. Really selling it. You know who's not so good based on our pre-show? Our good buddy Francis is suffering from a case of the allergies.
Yeah, basically the planets of Earth are trying to kill me right now, and or colonize my insides. They want to basically. It's pollen bukkake is what I'm experiencing right now, and it's not good.
Pollen bukkake.
That's exactly what's happening, and it's a world of hurt.
Didn't he used to be a reliever, like host on SportsCenter?
Yeah, I think he was. He was.
Oh no, it's Colin Bukkake. Sorry.
Oh yeah,
Colin Bukkake.
Of the Rhode Island Bukkakes. Very important family.
Francis, are you don't take this the wrong way, because I also suffer from allergies. We both know that Sydney does as well. This is just a me personal thing. I wonder if anybody shares this. Do you think that there is a pretty significant crossover between people that suffer really bad allergies and just nerds? It seems like all the nerds I know suffer from allergies, and just a fraction of the great athletes I know suffer from allergies. Like, why is this a nerd
forces
thing?
you inside.
Yeah. It's
Slowly,
the nature.
gradually, over the course of your life, you are forced inside and you develop other interests.
It's true. It's
nature
very
versus
true.
nurture. You become a nerd due to your allergies, I say.
It's very, very true.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
That's the best explanation I can think of. Yeah, I didn't want to go outside. So I was playing video games and with, action figures and reading books. Yeah, that's what I did.
And sniffling.
And sniffling, yes. Sniffling, sneezing.
And sniffling through it all. Did any of you take regular shots when you were kids for allergies? I know Skid did, actually.
I did. Every week for like 6 years I did.
God.
I'm not like you guys. I don't have allergies. I'm not a nerd. I don't have allergies.
I know. Like, you're the cool one, Sid. That's why I was surprised when we started up the call and you had a piece of plastic 3 inches up your nose. You're like, oh, God, my allergies.
Yeah, my allergies. No, I was saying this week, I think in New York, there's been like a pollen spike because I got tested for allergies. I thought I had allergies because I was having really bad reactions in the springtime. I got tested for everything. I have no allergies. None. Dogwood, cockroaches. They tested all the weird ones.
Cockroaches? Yeah,
you can be allergic to cockroaches.
Oh, God.
And some people can smell ants. It's just one of those things.
What?
Yeah.
Skid is nodding. Skid understands.
No, I used to smell my ants all the time. New York.
I had a smelly aunt, too. Thankfully, she doesn't live.
She smelled great, but
anyway.
it was something noticeable.
Joe, you have allergies, though, Joe?
Yeah. It's gotten a lot better for whatever reason. But when I was a kid, I would be decimated. Like, I remember just sitting in a classroom, just like peering through, just like eyes filled with water and like barely being able to open my eyes and like scratching and then bloody noses. I would get bloody noses all the time.
Oh my God.
I had to be like, excuse me, can I go to the bathroom again? And like, I'm holding up a tissue that's just like filled with blood. And, you know, the cool kids would be like, I'm going to beat him up later. Like, it was literally the direct, like, the next thing that you do is just beat somebody up that does that. It was so bad. I hated it so much. I was like, why? Why does my nose have to bleed all the time? And it doesn't happen much anymore.
I used to get a massive bloody nose on the last day of school every year, like clockwork, for 4 years straight. And they would get progressively worse. And I think the last one I had was the last day of sophomore year. And it was so bad. Like, it would not stop. And all I had was my army surplus jacket. I'm holding it up to my face, and it's just like soaked with blood. And I started telling people that some kid from the neighboring high school like hit me in the face. I was like, I have to have some explanation for this. It's like, yeah, they just came and just like smacked me and ran off. I didn't get a look at them, but they had a manual jacket on. Just like, oh man, let's fuck him up. Yeah, I know.
Oh my God.
Amazing. I remember McD, who, you know, McD, a big thank you to McD, who helps me run this game and is a big part of the GMing, the handling behind the scenes of Get in the Trunk. When we were kids, I used to be like, it's normal. Like, it's just a nosebleed. It's allergies, pollen, and my hands covered in blood. And he would be like, there is nothing normal about that. You are bleeding out of your head. Anytime you are bleeding out of your head, something is very wrong. And he would freak me out. We had a good time. But speaking of things being very, very wrong, it's time to launch into a new operation of Delta Green, which is, it's just so wild and so awesome that it gets to connect to a previous operation, and that we are, you know, that we have spent 3 hours getting these characters back up to where they're meant to be. And I'm very excited to dig back in to, I don't know, start a new adventure. And I guess I'll kick it off with a brief recap. I can't recap the whole first episode at all by a long shot. It's really like, you have to listen to the entire thing again if you don't remember, because it's so detailed and amazing. But the main point is, at the end of it, we see that Delta Green is summoning the characters that experienced the operation in the Night Floors. Delta Green is summoning them back 20 years later for some reason. And that's where we're going to start. That's where we're going to start today. Ah, well, yeah, there we go. Thank you, CJ. CJ's on the 1s and 2s tonight. Look at this. There's so much evidence to even think about going back over from the entire previous operation, that a recap at this stage, and then thinking about what happened for 20 years after that is, it's just not in the cards. You'll have to go back and re-listen to everything. But what we will do tonight is just start anew and start on a fresh story with these characters now 20 years older, and a lot of things have changed in their lives, as we saw last week. So, yeah, for lack of a better way to start. Let's just hop in. I'm going to kick it off, as I so often love to do, with a scene. This is now the true start of season 5, in my opinion.
Wish I had some popcorn.
Yeah, I know.
Just like,
for real. It's almost like that episode 1. It's kind of like a production meeting, right? Like a writer's meeting. And then...
yes, kid. Yes.
And then we'll kick it in to the real John. Here we go. First, let me get a little John going in the background. There we go. And we'll open, as always, on an aerial view of a major city. We're kind of at like blimp height. Think like blimp height. Not as high as a plane, but higher than just a regular camera or a drone. We're kind of way up there, and you can see this sprawling city below on a bright summer afternoon. And down below us, as we're slowly hovering, maybe we actually are literally in a blimp, we could see a baseball stadium. And we hear the sound of the crowd, of the game. We hear the sounds of the game as we're looking down. And then, you know, the crack of the bat and the fans go wild. And we cut closer to inside the stadium, and we see it's a very recognizable stadium. It's Fenway Park. Whoa. And fans explode and cheer as Brock Holt drills a base hit up center field. Pedroia advances to second base. The fans are all screaming, clapping, and we see a brief shot of the scoreboard. The Red Sox are down 3-0 to the Oakland A's. The fans know this one's not over yet. There's a chance for a comeback. And as we scan over a wide shot far back of all those fans up there, a card comes up in the corner of our screen that just says, Boston, June 7th, 2015. We cut to the upper level, standing room, and we are directly behind now our camera, a young man who's wearing a blue t-shirt and a Red Sox hat. We don't see his face, we just see him scanning the crowd. From his left ear, we can see a communication device that's running, or like kind of that little loopy wire, almost like Secret Service kind of vibe, that goes down beneath the crew neck of his t-shirt, and we hear him speaking quietly into his comm device. Yeah, I don't see him. And we see him scanning the crowd. His voice is familiar in this game, in this show. But again, we don't see his face. Are you sure he came up here? He looks to his left slightly, and our camera follows his eyes, and we see a small group of frat boy-looking a-holes drinking too much, cheering for the Sox. And then he looks back around the other way. Still, nothing of interest. Clearly disgusted and annoyed by these D-bags celebrating right in his face, he slips away and begins to walk downstairs.
They must be from BU. They don't have friends at BC.
The hell with this.
I felt that.
The hell with this, he says. I'm going downstairs. And we cut to him now on a lower level, on a concourse, looking around. And again, we're just following behind this guy. Wait, he says. I think I got him down into like a chest mic. And all of a sudden he starts to pick up his pace. He starts to kind of jog. And we look up and we see in the distance another man, strangely, oddly dressed in a heavy sweatshirt and sweatpants. And it's like a sweltering summer day. You can see everybody's in t-shirts and shorts. His hat's pulled low, this target, and he's got sunglasses on. And noticing the agent, he begins to run. Boom! He breaks into a run. And let's say, you know, if I could get this thing cooking, which I might be able to, we'll say the music picks up a little bit, and he starts running through the crowd. And our guy starts running, and he's like, "Wait, I got him!" And he starts running, but now that the guy's taken off, he's like, he made me, and he's communicating with his team. So our man is giving chase now through the concourse. But just then, the Sox, bam, they go down. They're out. this inning, and the fans start pouring up from their seats as the third inning ends in disappointment. They didn't get any of their runs home. They're still down 3-0, and they start coming up to go to the bathroom and stuff, and it gets into his way. And he's trying to push through the crowd, and he's trying to eye this guy, but he can't. He's losing him in the crowd, but not before he sees, with I guess a really high alertness check, a small piece of paper falls from the guy's pocket, his quarry, as he's running away. He gets through these people and runs up to the paper, and as he gets there, the guy is just gone. He has vanished into the crowd. He reaches down, grabs the paper, speaks into his mic. Shit, he's gone. Lost him. Keep an eye on the exits. I'm coming out. Then he stops and looks down at this piece of paper that fell to the ground, and he slowly unfolds it, revealing something that we are all familiar with. The hell is this? He says to no one in particular, as he gets his first glimpse at the symbol we call the yellow sign.
Oh, man.
It's out there.
And that
Fade
man
out.
was Kevin Costner in Desert Dreams.
Yes, exactly. Exactly, Skid. Skid and I had a lengthy talk about how Field of Dreams is just a Delta Green operation with
with a good attitude.
with a good
That's all it
attitude.
is.
I know this movie now. We watched this movie together. I know this movie now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I get your
That's
jokes.
hilarious.
Yeah.
It was also referenced in season 4 of Get in the Trunk, which is so
Yeah.
funny.
Right.
Now, I do want to say there is one detail. If you're watching this at home, right? If you're watching this as if it's a TV show and this is the start of a new season, those of you that are actually visually seeing this scene would notice, be like, wait a minute, it was fast, but was that? And if you backed it up, yes, those frat boy D-bags that were bothering the guy were Troy Lavallee, Joe O'Brien, Francis Mrema,
Yeah.
possibly Skid Maher.
I was there. If it was a night game, I was there.
Because we were there on June 7th, 2015.
Oh my
At
god!
Fenway Park.
I was like on upper deck. I'm like,
That sounds familiar.
We were actually there when this shit went down. And we had no idea because we weren't read in yet.
right,
Yeah.
right.
We hadn't been,
Kevin
we
was
hadn't been
there.
given our first assignments yet.
No, so June 7th is a Sunday. So this is Sunday afternoon,
Oh, we were on the
Oh, I
Coke,
wasn't
the
there. I
third
was
base
not
Coke
there.
deck.
third base Coke deck. And I
Yes.
think it was Francis and I and you, Troy,
Yes.
and your brother. I think
And
it was
Randy,
just,
maybe.
Oh, and Randy, maybe. Yeah, it was a smaller
Yeah.
crowd. Skid was there Saturday. I wanted to
Friday.
make Saturday work, but guess what? I couldn't because this is literally by the book, this situation. Yes, it has
They
to
wrote
be.
Troy's-
to be June 7th. I wanted it to be June 6th, and it's just not right.
My
It's just
bachelor
not-
party is in the book.
Yeah, no, it's just a coincidence, which is amazing, but also kind of creepy.
Which is even weirder.
Yeah.
which is even weirder. Oh man, so much more to dig into. But for now, let's that'll fade to black, and then let's fade up in New York City. On the street in New York City, we will fade up on a gorgeous apartment building on Central Park West, overlooking Central Park, and we'll come up on the kind of the main entrance as a black car, nice looking black car, pulls up in front of the building and stops. A driver gets out, walks around to the back of the car, and opens the rear door. And out of the car steps Dr. Neil Bachman. We see him step out of the car and walk up to the front door of this gorgeous apartment building where a doorman says, "Good afternoon, Dr. Bachman." And gives him a slight bow. And we see Neil walk into this foyer, at which point he's greeted by a security guard. "Afternoon, Dr. Bachman," and passes him a whole bundle of mail. And in there, in the mix, we see there's a FedEx envelope with a bunch of other things. A similar document size FedEx envelope to what we saw Vicky receive at the end of last episode. Also on the security stand is a bouquet of flowers. He says, "Oh, these are for you too, Dr. Bachman. These are for you too." And Neil, you look at the flowers, and there is a card on the flowers, and it says, "Happy birthday, Robbie. Love, Neil." And you remember for the first time that it's Robbie's birthday, and you know that these flowers were sent by your farmer rep, Stuart, who is so good that he remembers your wife's birthday even when you don't.
Wow.
And so you see these flowers come in, and it's kind of late afternoon. What do you do?
I take the flowers and I make a mental note to buy more Claritin the next quarter. And I go up to my apartment.
Yeah, and you've got a thing of mail as well. So
I go as I'm in the elevator. I'm going through the mail, like looking at what I have.
Okay, so you start flipping through the mail, and most of it is junk. Couple routine things that aren't junk, and then this FedEx envelope that is document-sized, flat envelope. Addressed to you at this address, typical kind of FedEx envelope, but there is no return address on it.
Okay, I think I might get a little bit of spidey sense seeing this, but maybe it's just PTSD. So
Bing!
Wait till...
And the door opens, the elevator, and it opens into your apartment. You have like an apartment where the elevator opens into the apartment.
Yeah.
Neil.
Yeah.
A penthouse apartment overlooking Central Park. What does it look like in there?
I think it's Tribeca, actually.
Oh, is it Tribeca?
I think it's Tribeca.
Okay. Oh, okay.
So he's out. It's overlooking Hoboken, Jersey, like out.
Oh,
over,
okay, like down by the water. Yeah,
Hudson Piers and stuff. Parks down there, and yeah, he goes over to his immaculate couch and his big, like, vaulted ceilings. Go over to the kitchen island, and I'm looking at this envelope, and I pull the strip, and I reach for what's inside.
You reach inside, and your finger grasps a thick, quality-feeling parchment. It does not feel like typical smooth printer paper, but something much finer. As you draw it out, you see a stylized, somewhat faded green triangle on the envelope. And as soon as you see it, we flash to an image of the same envelope in the hands of Roger Comstone. Where is Roger as he's sitting and looking at this envelope, or standing and looking at this envelope?
Well, you kind of said it as you're going off air last week. You ended on Vicky receiving the envelope.
Yes.
Sort of the fanfare around that, her excitement. And then as we were going out, you're like, we cut to Roger, and I had just done that scene where he's sitting there and he's like, not emaciated, but he's much thinner, he's a little drawn out and obviously older, and he's got this beautiful mind shit on the wall. That we cut back to that scene and he's holding it in his hands. Maybe in the foreground we see the ripped open FedEx envelope and he's just holding it. And as he looks down at this, you said it's like a faded green triangle?
Yeah, it's like a stylized, it has like little loopy things around the outside, and then in the middle of it, it's kind of like, there's kind of like horizontal lines that cut through all through the triangle, but it's a single color of green, but it isn't just like a solid green. There's like these lines through it. It's kind of like an Art Deco-y kind of representation of a Delta Green summoning graphic.
All right, so let's say he's staring at that, and as he looks down at it, you see from the side, like all that shit that he has on the wall, trying to figure something out, and you just hear this like... sound. The only place you ever hear that sound is when you're on a plane. And so we cut from there, and we see Roger, a little younger, sitting on a plane. Ooh, that sound is still going. And he obviously has his glasses on. He looks like he's actually in pretty good spirits. He looks, healthier, if nothing else. Same stoic expression as always. And he looks out the window and sees water, and he's just staring at the water. And maybe there's just like a little blip up there of his plane, the thing that happened to him when he was on the plane, when that thing like fucking came out of the water.
Yeah, swallowed Baltimore.
And that was at night, and he's looking out. It's daytime, but we just you see that little thing, and comes back to him again, and maybe he's interrupted by the captain is like, hello folks from the flight deck. We are beginning our final approach into Aguadala Airport, serving nearby Rincon, Puerto Rico. Please put your tray tables up and return your seats to their upright position. The flight crew will be around shortly to pick up any trash you may have. The weather is a beautiful 88 degrees today in Rincon.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what they sound like.
Yeah, they do that so that in the plane that they're not done talking.
Right.
Or that they died. It's just like, oh shit, I think he's dead. I have to go pilot the plane.
It's just like falling asleep.
On behalf of the whole United crew, we want to thank you for flying with us.
Ugh, Roger flies United?
I was just trying to connect it to that ticket on the board. We'd also like to give a special United welcome to two newlyweds we have on board today. Congratulations to Mr. and Mrs. Cumstone?
It's a joke, right?
And then as it pulls out, we see Vicky is sitting right next to him. It's shortly after they got married. And they're going on their honeymoon. And he's like, I hope that this... I've been on a lot of planes. I hope this is the start of a beautiful life together. Flight crew, prepare the cabin for landing. And Roger just kind of looks over at Vicky. Maybe they have a little moment there. Do you ever wonder what happens if both the pilot and the other pilot get incapacitated?
What?
Do you ever wonder what happens if both pilots can no longer fly the plane?
Roger, we're going on a honeymoon. You can get on a plane and not check every exit, okay? You don't have to feel under every seat to make sure they have the life vests. Can't you just enjoy this, please? And also, if both the pilots incapacitated, the stewardesses and stewards know what to do.
One time I was in a chopper just outside of Baghdad. It was just a solo pilot and me. I had a sniper rifle trained on a burnt-out hull of a mosque where the target was allegedly holed up. I saw some movement below in my scope, and suddenly there was a sound like bumblebees, but they were close. It's like they were flying into my head. Then that sound was quickly broken by the sound of glass shattering. I looked at the pilot, and he was slumped over the controls. Blood and brain matter splattered all over the cockpit. For a moment, I thought of putting my own sniper rifle in my mouth. A cleaner death than what would await me below.
You know how difficult that would be?
But something came over me. A calm I can't explain. So I felt compelled to push the corpse of my friend to the side and jump into the pilot's seat. I looked down at the controls, and there was just knobs and gauges, and nothing made sense. Remind me of the time I looked down at the body of a soldier I went to boot camp with, just after he stepped on a landmine. Nothing made sense, but suddenly I became one with that Huey, and I brought her down safely 20 clicks of base camp. I guess what I'm saying is, if both pilots became incapacitated and the flight attendants didn't know what to do, I think we'd be okay.
Vicky is kind of like holding Roger's face. Sometimes he talks, like he would talk about his previous experience. We're laughing, but I think Roger has like severe PTSD. Correct me if I'm wrong, Troy.
It's clear.
But I think he would like go into these things with Vicky, and Vicky like wouldn't really know what to do, but has also experienced trauma, and I think she would try to give him space, and she's like holding his head a little bit and listening, and she looks past Roger, and there's another woman sitting in their row who is just staring at them because they were just announced as newlyweds, and Roger's talking about massacring people. And Vicky's like holding his head, and she looks over and she goes, "Mind your business." And then she gives Roger a kiss, and she goes, "You make me feel so safe." And she just turns back around.
Oh.
Kids, I think they're going to make it.
I also love that in this situation, you decided to put gigantic Roger Comstone in the middle seat.
He requested it. Yeah, I don't know why. He always wants
Poor woman that sat on the other side of him,
He's-
just like getting half a seat the whole time.
He says it's the safest and it's the easiest access as to all the exits.
Are you excited to see the sandy beaches of Rincon?
Yeah, I mean, I've never been. I hope I get to see like a dolphin or something. I don't know.
I'm not sure if they're native to the area.
I don't know. A jellyfish? I'll take anything, honestly.
You don't want to find a jellyfish, but listen, if you want a dolphin, we'll find a fucking dolphin. I don't care what we have to do.
I'm just excited to be with you, Roger, and not have to work and not have to, I don't know, worry about anything.
Yeah.
We
Well,
don't
listen.
have to worry about anything.
Well, that's what I guess that's what I'm getting at. I know what we went through on the other side is a part of our history. We can't escape, but in a way, I feel like this is a new beginning for us, right?
Yeah.
It's like the rest of our life starts right now.
She just smiles.
And we'll fade back into your house, apartment, basement apartment.
Not a basement. It's not.
He's upgraded to windows.
He's got windows, but all the shades are drawn. It's just light, like sneaking through the little slits.
So we come into the apartment and we'll just see this stylized envelope or whatever piece of paper that has this green triangle on it, and blurred in the background is all these connections. And we'll unfocus on the letter and focus on all the things on the wall and just pan up to where it just says home ? Over top of it. And then immediately fade and cut to a Humvee a military style Humvee that is pulling up and comes to a screeching halt in front of a building in what looks like at first glance an extremely bright, extremely hot environment. Dust and sand is kicked up by the braking vehicle, and two large, fit-looking men, bearded dudes, get out of the car and shut the door. They're kind of jawing to each other. We can't hear exactly what they're saying, but we see that they've got flak jackets on, and as they both get out, they each reach into the back of the Humvee and grab automatic weapons, assault rifles, that they then throw over the strap over their head and hunker down to the side, and they start moving away from the vehicle and up some steps into what looks like a house of some kind, and open up the door. And when they walk in the door, you see that this house has been gutted inside, and it's filled with sort of desks that have been thrown up and just like pushed into all weird areas in this rundown, pockmarked house. And on top of these folding tables are just these like thin, shitty aluminum tables is some of the highest tech gear you've ever seen in terms of computers, signal intelligence, all that kind of stuff. As maybe a half a dozen or so people are sitting at terminals, and they're typing, and they have headsets on, and they're looking at different information. And these two armed men walk through this group and into the back of the lower floor of the house, and then they open a back door, which seems to open into another room. Maybe it was previously a dining room, and now it's like a makeshift office. And inside, posted up there with a kind of like what is like a dining room table, basically, we see Bobby Walford is sitting at this desk with a suit on, but it's kind of beat to shit. He's dripping with sweat. The suit is kind of like dirty and a little ragged. And the two guys come in, and the guy in the forefront, who's got curly brown hair and a thick beard, is just like, "What's the story tonight, boss?"
Gentlemen, tonight's mission is escort and surveil. We have solid intelligence from one of our agents. We have a possible asset that Syrian military intelligence is trying to keep from us, is trying to keep us under wraps. We believe he has information. We need our Agent Lincoln, to go in there and extract whatever information he has. You two will be on security. Do not engage. You will just observe, secure the perimeter, let Agent Lincoln do his job. Nothing else.
Guy's just like chewing gum. It's like, easy enough. All right. Turns around with the other guy, slaps him on the back. The two of them walk out of the door and go back out the front. And as they're walking back out the front, you see this young Syrian boy, maybe he's 8 or 9 years old, is running up to the house, and he's got hands filled with mail, and he's running up and into the house, and we see a little card will come up here, and it just says Aleppo, Syria, August 28th, 2015. And this kid comes running into the house and dumps all this mail where it normally goes. And in this pile of mail, there's a FedEx envelope that we then see one of the Americans that's working inside picks up this mail and starts rooting through it and starts passing to a few different areas, putting it in a few different bins. But this FedEx envelope is walked into the back to Bobby Walford's office and is just dumped on your desk. This one's for you. Boom.
Thank you. You can go.
She turns around, walks out. Do you want the door closed?
Yes. Please.
Closes the door, and we're left alone in the office with Bobby Walford. Bobby, what's going on here? Just give us a brief behind-the-scenes picture of what's going on here.
So Bobby is currently based in Aleppo as a chief of station, rather, for a clandestine office in Aleppo.
Yes.
Its mission is unknown, but it is definitely of high importance. We've got a team of about 10 to 15 agents, plus security, plus those 2 guys who are security. There's a lot of sensitive intelligence. There's a lot of sensitive intelligence we're collecting here.
Awesome. All right, you get this envelope. What do you do?
All right. Bobby looks at it. Looks familiar. Cracks it open. And he sees something he remembers.
How long has it been since he's had an actual operation? And let me actually correct something I said in 501, which it came to me after the ep. I got wrong. It turns out Delta Green is more than happy to operate overseas. In fact, there is an entire, apparently amazing operation. I think it's called Iconoclasts, which is all set in the Middle East, which is all Delta Green agents operating in the Middle East. So very prescient of you, Francis, and good for you.
Oh, that's
that
great.
was awesome.
I got to read that up.
So ballpark, maybe you'll run it for us, Francis.
Oh my God, that'd be great.
Ballpark, how long do you think it's been since you've been in a meeting or on an operation for Delta Green?
So I think it's been, I want to say it's about 7 years since the last one.
Okay.
Yeah, and that was also in Syria as well. But yeah, it's been about 7 years. So this is definitely relatively fresh in his mind.
So all the things that you're working on here right now are not Delta Green related.
No,
they are focused on
yeah. But this letter definitely calls to mind the last operation.
Okay.
And Bobby gets a chill.
Rips it out, sees the triangle, gets the chill, and now I think we cut back to Vicky, where we started this whole thing, the first person to open the first envelope on the steps. Now this is in Inwood, in New York City. This envelope is opened, and all right, so Vicky, I think you're excited to kind of tear into this. So how about I show you what you see? Let's actually finally get to this. So if you guys want to jump over to our VTT,
so
you will see a new seasonal evidence board.
Oh, what?
We're shaking things up around here. We're going vertical.
I like it.
Here
There's
at Delta Green Operations.
That's a
exactly.
lot of cook.
That's a lot of cook. 2 side by side. Not only do I plan on you getting a lot of evidence, but I also plan on you bringing back old evidence. So you guys have access to all the old stuff. You can put it in. You can look at the new stuff. Whatever you want to do. Should be really fun. But you, Vicky, you open up this envelope, and inside there is another piece of paper. You open it up and pull it out, and you see writing on it. I'm going to drop it right here in the upper left corner-ish. Here we go. So go ahead and zoom in on that, and let's get it started.
Oh no! What is this?
Oh boy. Enhance. Okay, all right. Vicky, opens up this ornate sort of piece of like parchmenty aged paper. It's got this like very eccentric stationery background, very fancy. And it says, please, I'm also trying to find Vicky's older, more mature 40-year-old voice, so bear with me. She was a bit young before. All right. Please join us to celebrate the 51st birthday of our friend, Richard Zielony. Is that a Z?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Zielony?
Yeah.
At the Gateway Budges Restaurant, 9011 Potash Street, Boston, Massachusetts. It's got the zip and a cell phone. Do I know a Richard Zielony?
Code. Must be code.
No, you don't know.
I don't. Okay.
You don't know anyone named Richard Zielony.
And would Vicky, and this is just knowing like the time period stuff, would Vicky recognize this as Delta Green?
Yes, the green triangle on the outside.
She
and if you look
knows
at
that.
the top of the invitation,
There's a little green
you'll see
triangle.
there's another little one there. A little triangle. Let me see if I can show this to you guys, because on the board is one thing, but let's see. Does this make it any bigger for you? Like if you look at it through the journal, it can be a little bit bigger. But anyway, that's
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
That's great.
that's cool. Yeah, Vicky sees this. She reads through it, and then she just thinks, oh, "I got to pack. I gotta go to Boston."
ready to go.
But it doesn't
it's
say
not
a
shown. It's not
date.
shown on this, right? It's not shown on this, but it says September 1st,
Okay.
2015, 8 p.m. 8 o'clock p.m. There's like a separate card. It says September 1st, 8 p.m.
And Joe,
Yeah,
what day is it today in our world?
it's August 28th.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So August 28th. So it's like 3 days away, basically, is when this is supposed to be happening. And Vicky's first thought is, I gotta pack. Let's cut to Roger. What's Roger's first thought?
So with this thing, we know that this is code, right? We know this is a meeting with a handler.
Yeah, it's very clear from the insignia that you're being summoned to a meeting. Yeah.
Roger stands up, and this is not the right reference, but I'm thinking of like Christian Bale in The Machinist. He's not that thin, but like compared to his massive size from before, like he's lost some of his bulk, and he's like now he's just shredded. But he's again, Machinist isn't right, but when compared in size, he stands up and he's shirtless, and he walks over and puts the invitation down on his dresser drawer. And he opens up the top drawer and pulls out like, 4 or 5 pairs of underwear and throws it on the bed. Opens up the second drawer, pulls out 4 or 5 pairs of socks, throws it behind him on the bed. He opens up the third drawer, and it is just weapons. And we just cut to his face staring at like guns and ammo and grenades.
Amazing. Let's cut to Bobby. Bobby, you see a summons to be in Boston, Massachusetts in 3 days' time. What's going through your head?
All right. Bobby's got to call back in those 2 guys he just gave his marching orders to let them know that he's gonna be leaving. So he calls them back in.
Yeah, what's going on?
Slight change of plan tonight. I will have to be on a plane back to the U.S. stateside. You two still go on the mission, escort and surveil. I need to impress upon you, do not by any circumstances follow Agent Lincoln into the meet. You are to stay outside and surveil the perimeter, that is it.
Yeah, well, what about here, boss? Who's going to be, who's in charge?
Don't worry about anything else. Listen to what I'm telling you. Escort Agent Lincoln. Surveil. Do not engage. If you do engage, you will be disavowed. Is that understood?
Yeah, all right. Relax. I got it.
All right. While I'm gone, you'll maintain security. Everything will be on need-to-know basis, so you will not be read into anything. Keep it that way. For your own sake.
Okay, you got it, boss. And they'll walk out. And what are you going to do? You going to just, like, hop a flight? I mean, does the CIA know about this? Are they going to think you're staying on station?
Bobby's going to call in to the main office, secure line main office, and basically make it sound like his father is ill and he needs to go back and be with him. That's the excuse he's going to give it. It's an emergency family family emergency, basically. So that's what he's using.
Okay. Then I'm gonna need a roll. So let's do. You could do bureaucracy. You could do persuade.
Let's
see what's he better at. Bureaucracy.
Bureaucracy. I got a 60. So
all right, let's do a bureaucracy roll.
Let's do that. All right. Ooh, 56. 56 under 60. Yes. Yes.
All right, just slipped it in there.
Filing those papers, baby.
Nice. Okay, great. So Bobby is making arrangements to go, and then we cut to Neil. I like this image of Neil in this beautiful freaking Tribeca apartment, sitting back on this plush, like what is it, white couch or something?
Like white suede. Like everything's just like white.
Yeah, just like everything's white, and
except
you see
him, like he's dressed like all in black.
You see this this invitation. What goes through your head, Neil? You have a complicated past with Delta Green.
Yeah. That's a good question. I think he sees his failure with this film as kind of a result of him not committing fully to the kind of things that he experienced, not opening himself up as much, and like, which was, probably for the best, but there's still this sense that of a missed opportunity. And so while he hasn't engaged with Delta Green since, like, he is sort of titillated by the opportunity to sort of open that valve again, that creative valve, and see what comes out. So while he's frightened, he is he's intrigued. So he's ready to go.
Okay, so as Neil is looking at this thing, let's just say you hear this voice peels through the scene suddenly, and it's just like, oh my God, you remembered! And this woman, this like beautiful, made up, dressed up woman comes clattering out on heels into the room and is fawning over this huge thing of flowers that she sees, next to the couch. And she comes up and grabs them and gives them a big sniff. And it's just like, I knew you wouldn't forget, my sweet. And she leans over and gives you a big kiss on the lips. Who is this?
This is Roby Zalgosh. She's a gallery owner that I met in Santa Fe, and I think we sort of split our time between New York and Santa Fe, and we've been common law married for the last few years. She's Hungarian.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the Hungarian accent is, but I'll just do. So she's like, so what are we doing tonight? What is the plan?
Oh, I have terrible news, unfortunately.
No. Don't
know.
even think about it. And her demeanor completely changes.
Yeah, I know how much your birthday means to you, but I just got the worst. And he's got the invite and the thing, and he's just like goes away, and he's just like, my mother has died.
Well, sorry, I never asked. I don't know anything about your mother. You never speak about her. I didn't know you were close.
Yeah, we didn't have the best relationship, obviously, and I wasn't sure where she was, but apparently she's just passed away. And I have to go and take care of some things. And this is Jenny reaches out, like he touches her form. It's just like, this is just for me. I don't want you to have to see me dealing with this. This is a part of my life that I would rather have left behind.
Oh, well, okay. We reschedule another night.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll do something very, very special when I get back. And he's sort of half.
Get back? Where are you going?
I have to go to Boston.
Boston? Your mother live in Boston?
She did. I know. Wretched city. But
She did, I know.
there's nothing that can be done about it, unfortunately.
Well, when are you leaving?
I have to leave now.
And when are you coming back?
I'll probably be back in a few days. I'll be in touch.
Okay. And like she
And
can
I'm
see
sorta
how
like-
distant you are and like
Yeah.
distracted.
And I'm sort of like going around the apartment. I'm getting my stuff together, like a go bag. And I'm like, as I'm talking, like I'm putting like grabbing some suits and my medical bag and, you know, just some unlabeled sort of pills, just like, you know, putting them in there, zipping it up. And yeah, I'm just really just kind of like, I'm trying to talk my way out of there, trying to get out of there as quickly as I can.
And you hear you hear a phone ring, but the ring is Bruno Mars's Uptown Funk. So we suddenly hear Uptown Funk starts playing through a phone, and camera turns and we see on the nightstand by your bed there's about 6 different cell phones,
Oh my god.
and one of them is buzzing and
I quickly
Playing.
Googled Uptown Funk. It was released on November 10th, 2014. It's accurate.
Joe is in it.
no, this is all McD.
He's a meticulous man. McD.
Yeah, his meticulous time frame Johns are amazing.
Bravo, Mickey.
Can't spell meticulous dude without McD.
Uptown Funk you up.
Uptown Funk you up.
Say what? As McD adds, it's gonna give it to you. So yeah, this phone rings, and this is one of your phones. Neil's got a bunch of phones.
I grab my main phone, and this is it's just like, well, I answer the phone,
Okay, we see you pick up the phone, answer it, and it's just like
and I shut the door. I shut the door like as I'm, but before I pick it up.
Neil, we need to talk. And you recognize this voice. This is one of your buyers.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I'm gonna need you to double the shipment. I got a lot of guys on the hook for this, and I need you to double this, and I can give you an extra week. Can you get it in an extra week? We hear this through the phone.
Okay. And he starts like writing, like he grabs a pad and paper and starts like scribbling something down in shorthand that's like not legible. And he says like, yeah, okay, that could be a bit of a problem, but with the extra time, I think I can get that done.
Hey, look, Neil, you've done great work for us, but I think I can get it done is just not going to cut it. Okay, this has to happen. I know it's a shit ask, but it has to happen.
Okay. All right. Listen, I've got some stuff to take care of, but I'm on it. Don't worry, it'll get done. I'll figure out the logistics. You'll get everything you need, okay?
Okay. Just click. And then the quick hang up. And let's move forward. Let's go a day. It's the 29th. Are you guys, when are you leaving for Boston, Vicky? What's your plan here?
I think I think Vicky has been to Boston, whether for like a trip with Christopher or with Roger. Like, you know, she's been up to Massachusetts before, and I think she leaves. I guess depends on her work schedule, but if it's
there's work schedule, and then there's also that on the I completely forgot about this. On the 29th is when Sam goes back to school, and he's starting sophomore year. So he's leaving on the 29th, and I'm sorry, he's leaving on the 30th. 29th was like your day to hang out and finish packing up, and you probably had some plans with him, and then he's leaving. So are you leaving, or are you going through with all these things and waiting until after he leaves for school?
Vicky's like so excited for Sam, and she's gonna miss him so much. She loves Sam so much, and he's a really good kid, and he likes to play guitar, but he's like so smart too. Like, he's just a really good, well-rounded kid, and I think she's so happy that he turned out okay, because she went through a lot of rough shit with herself, and like with her divorce, and then with her second divorce. Like, there's just so much, and Sam came out okay, so she's not gonna miss this. She looks up Amtrak, and she'll just take a train on the 30th early so she can get there and have time to settle in before the meeting. But she's gonna spend her day with Sam, because also her and Christopher, they still kind of split time with Sam. They don't have, he's 18 now, so it's not like a child support thing that they have to work out, but it's her day, and she is gonna go through with it, and they are gonna pack, and he's flying down, so it's not like he's taking anything, a lot with him, just clothes and stuff. But she wants him to repaint his room before they go, because he's really fucked up the walls. And Vicky wants to make it a fun thing where they can kind of like say goodbye to his childhood bedroom, and she's not going to change his room while he's gone, but she was like, this is a thing you promised me we'd do, and I'll take you to like your favorite lunch spot. So that's what they're going to do. Okay.
So leaving on the 30th and spending some time with Sam before you head out. I want to find out the urgency on Neil's end in 1 second. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back in 1 second and find out when Neil is going to head off to Boston. I want to say a huge thank you to our sponsor for this episode of Get in the Trunk, Dauntless Snacks. Our good buddy Jay Knight, who's a member of the Naish, started Dauntless Snacks back in 2020 when he was looking for a way to bring a high-quality protein snack to gamers, dreamers, streamers, and creators out there. He makes these beef sticks. They are 100% grass-fed beef. They're not greasy. They taste like you're getting a good quality dose of protein and not having that greasy, gross feel that you get with other beef sticks out there on the market. Jay is an awesome guy. I've met him multiple times, and I highly, highly recommend that you check out his company and his snack. They're really legitimately awesome. Go to dauntlesssnacks.com to find out more, to see what kind of flavors are available. Right here, I've got classic. I've got a little jalapeno, John, and I believe later this year we're going to have honey barbecue. We're going to have mango habanero. Go to the website and check it out. If you buy something there, by the way, 1% of all his website sales in 2023 are going to the Denver Children's Hospital. I'm sorry, the Colorado Children's Hospital. And that is all sales, not just profits. So a huge thank you to Jay Knight. Please check out his company, dauntlesssnacks.com. Neil, is this of utmost urgency to you? Are you going to arrive on the 30th? What are you thinking?
I'm going to leave that day.
That day. So this is the afternoon of the 28th. It's into the evening, but I mean, it's Boston. You could get an Amtrak there and arrive at midnight. You know what I mean? Like, that's definitely possible. That's what you want to do?
Yeah, I think I'm going to get like I'm going to get a charter, actually.
What? Where's all this money coming from?
Oh, isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting?
Oh, very
Yeah, it is interesting. It is interesting.
Shady shit, Neil.
What is going on?
Okay, so you are going to charter it for the next day, or for that night. You're going to charter a flight that night. Oh God, amazing! So we see Neil in the airport boarding this plane, and maybe we hear him on the phone rescheduling his next couple days. What did you have going on in the next couple days? It was urgent that had to be officially rescheduled.
I think I had a surgery that I was performing that has to be rescheduled. I have...
So he's doctoring again?
Yeah.
Okay.
And some... Yeah, I think that's mostly it. It's just like sort of his medical responsibilities. It's kind of like moving that stuff around. Maybe a lunch or two. But just pushing everything back like a couple of weeks, just not knowing how long this is going to take.
Yeah, but he's like, let's just say he's a really good heart surgeon, right? Like, is that kind of the ballpark that we're talking about here?
Yeah.
I mean, heart surgery is a pretty urgent kind of thing. So, like, if you pass this patient off to another surgeon, are you concerned that this patient, like, could die because of this?
This is elective heart surgery, this particular one.
Ah, okay.
It's cosmetic. So he's not really that
Cosmetic.
worried.
Cosmetic heart surgery.
Heart surgery.
What is your fucking clientele?
It's just like, God, this is very like kind of upper crust stuff. They want their heart to look like a Valentine heart.
This is Skid. Have you seen Cronenberg's Son's movie where surgery is the new sex? It's like, it's literally this. It's like they want their internal organs like tattooed and stuff. Because it's like this rich, higher class thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Insane.
That is amazing. Wants their heart to look like a Valentine's Day heart. Spectacular. Okay, so
I think like some of this stuff I'm getting, substitutes and everything, just arranging for alternate people to perform this stuff at different hospitals and everything. Or I probably have an assistant that I'm pawning a lot of this off on. Probably had lunch with Steve. Probably got to tell him. Got to put it off.
Does Steve live in New York?
Yeah, I think Steve Buscemi lives in New York. I think he has a place in New York.
Does Steve ever hit you up for any prescription drugs?
I don't want to get in any trouble in real life, so no, I don't think he does.
Okay.
I think he'd be shocked and appalled if anyone did.
Good answer. All right, let's go to Roger. Roger, you just started packing and grabbing weapons. This is on August 28th that you received this. When do you leave?
I think we see a beat-up Toyota Tacoma roll into the Gulf station that he works at, and he pops the gas cover, sticks it in, and like uses like an employee card to get a discount, and just sets it. And then he looks in the window of the gas station and sees this like fat balding guy with a comb over, and he just walks in. He's like, "Hey, Mr. Twicassetti."
Yeah.
I gotta leave town for a little bit.
What do you mean you gotta leave town? You got a shift tomorrow.
Yeah, I can't make it. You're gonna have to ask Jimmy.
Oh, for Christ's sake, Roger. I don't know if Jimmy's available.
Well,
I need you on the pumps 5 a.m.
I understand. I had something that come up. I might be back next week. I'll call you. I'll call you and let you know.
You might be back next week. You're back Monday or you're fired. How about that?
I like your tone of voice, Mr. Twicassetti.
Are you fucking kidding me right now? You don't like my tone of voice?
I was doing you a courtesy by coming here and telling you face to face like a man.
A courtesy. Oh, well, thank you so much. I'm so lucky to have such courteous employees that can't show up for the shifts they agreed to do. Just get out of here. Just get lost. If you're not back Monday, you're fired. That's it.
Have a good day.
Enjoy your trip.
And he, as he turns, he like grabs 3 bags of sunflower seeds and just walks to his car.
Hey, what are you doing?
And he just keeps walking while Twickesetti's yelling at him. And he pops the gas.
Those sunflower seeds!
Pops the gas tank back on. And he sits in the car and he turns, and in the passenger seat is a bird cage. And he pops open the sunflower seeds. And some time has passed, and sadly, Jimmy, the African gray parrot, has passed. But his parakeet, Steve, is in the passenger seat.
Oh, he's back!
And he feeds,
He's back!
He feeds Steve some of the sunflower seeds. This Twickesetti's yelling at him. And he peels out in his Tacoma.
This guy's yelling, "Damn you, Cubstone! Damn you,
Cubstone!
I love how like you suggest Jimmy as the alternate, and the boss is like, "Fucking Jimmy, no!
Yeah.
You're the best."
He comes back in, yeah, we just see him like ba-bling, ba-bling, the bell rings as he opens up the door, and there's just like this like 18-year-old girl working behind the counter who's just miserable, and he's just like, "Call Jimmy! See if he's around tomorrow." And then we'll cut away. We got to cut to Bobby. Bobby's got the longest trip. He's trying to get from Syria
Oh, right, yeah.
to Boston. But
So,
he works this as a trip that is, he reports it to the CIA, and he's got to go because his father is ill.
Exactly. Yeah. So I mean, the CIA knows my dad. I mean, he's been in the intelligence community for a long time, but I figure he's got to call his dad first to let him know, because Bobby knows that Bobby and his dad have an understanding. Sometimes he needs to get away with cover, so he uses his dad for cover. His dad's retired now, according to the CIA. So when Bobby says his dad's sick, he calls his dad to let him know, "Hey, I'm coming back, and I'm coming back to be with you and to take care of you. And you need to, if anybody calls or corroborates, you need to make sure and say, yes, I'm coming back, and cover for him." It's an unspoken thing. They don't have much of a relationship. When it comes to work, though, he's always willing to support him for this. So,
okay,
yeah,
covering your bases. I like
covering the bases. Yeah,
I like it.
And he charters a CIA jet because he's big time now. He's up in the ranks. He could do that. He could pull that.
Kenny, let's get a bureaucracy roll.
Let's do it. Yeah, my bureaucracy is strong, bro. Strong.
Air America.
Oh shit! I failed. That was 88 over 60.
Oh no!
That is a critical failure.
Oh no! I guess my bureaucracy is not that strong.
on the
Very
no-fly list.
interesting. So yeah, you requisition this charter CIA flight for this situation, and you get it. You get the flight.
Okay.
It all comes through, but perhaps it raises an eyebrow of someone that is checking expense accounts in a way that is not going to be awesome. What operation was this tied to? I don't see a purchase code next to this. We're going to need to dig into this a little bit. Could you please call the Aleppo station chief and ask what this particular flight was for? We'll get to that. Don't worry, it's coming.
Oh shit! All right.
It's coming. But in general, what's your plan? I mean, there's not really a plan at this point. I would say you probably are going to you probably can't get there before the 30th, but no. You're going with all haste.
Yes, yeah. Direct. As direct as possible.
Okay. Shall we go to Boston? Shall we go to Boston, Massachusetts?
Let's go.
This is amazing. Yes, exactly. We play Ship It Up to Boston. We see the Toyota Tacoma on 95 going through Connecticut, blowing up to Boston.
I'm a sailor peg, and I lost my leg.
So awesome. So yeah, play that in the background as you see the Tacoma going by. What's that casino? Foxwoods. Going past Foxwoods. Does Roger stop at Foxwoods?
No, it's a little out of the way.
All right, so he goes right through, and ends up in Boston. Where are you guys? Just let's do this kind of quick, kind of rapid fire. Where are you staying? What arrangements did you make? You just staying in a downtown hotel? Is that sort of like
what street was it on?
Yeah,
the party.
It's on Potash Street in Boston.
Let me check.
I got a nice executive suite down there in Copley Square.
Down there in Copley?
Down in Copley Square, yeah.
And you paid for this through the CIA, or did you use your own money?
I used my own money. I have stashes. I have stashes that I can tap into.
Okay. What about Neil?
Neil books a room at the Ritz-Carlton off of Boston Common there.
Amazing. The Ritz. What about Vicky?
Vicky stays outside of Boston in like a small hotel in Cambridge because she likes to walk across the bridge into Back Bay, and then she likes to ride the T because she just likes public transit in different cities.
Because she knows Boston.
Oh, yeah, she knows Boston.
She's been there, but she also likes to see other cities, and she loves New York City for its like public transit. She's like a nerd sometimes. She likes public transit. She works for the fucking U.S. Postal Service. So when she goes to Boston, she's like, "Oh, I can't wait to ride the T. I love the above ground T."
Nobody ever said that in their lifetime.
No. Can't wait to ride the T.
I know, right? Come on. This is clearly a game.
And then Roger. So yeah, what does Roger do in terms of lodgings?
Roger gets an Airbnb at the corner of Commonwealth Ave and Exeter Street, 2 blocks from Copley Square.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Ooh.
Nice.
We all know
Ave.
Boston so well, guys.
Yeah.
And Exeter. Well, it's your Airbnb. I mean, is it an open-ended Airbnb, or how many days did you get it for?
Yeah, I got an open-ended one.
Okay. Okay, great. So
I messaged the host and I said, and sometime between a week and forever.
And I guess they're okay with that. Okay, fine. Those of you that got there early, particularly Neil, you're in Boston on the 29th. What do you do while you're in Boston?
I think
Leading up to this.
One of the things that I think he goes to the art museum.
Ooh.
Okay, yeah.
I think that night, because he gets there in the evening. So that night, like, he goes out for like a nice dinner, like, by himself, and then he comes back and he's just going through some of his old Delta Green era sort of sketches, stuff that he drew, and he's just like going through them, trying to rebuild his memory from that time based on that. And then the next day I think he goes just going to art museums.
Okay. What does Roger do in Boston? In the days or day leading up to this meeting?
He's got a couple of days, and yeah, I imagine he doesn't know, obviously, who's going to be on the job, but there's a part of him that just feels uneasy about the team, and so he spends his days sitting in, kind of sitting by the in the public gardens, just chain smoking and drinking coffee, and then once 4 o'clock hits, he goes to a bar and drinks until close.
Wow. Okay. So he's drinking heavily.
Yeah. But he's not like really getting out of control. we'll say in the between time. All right, so we'll say coffee all morning, drinks all night, but in between time, he got a membership at the Boston Sports Club, like a day membership, and he's just going in there and wailing on the machines.
Okay, I love it. What's Vicky doing with her time?
I think Vicky goes downtown, or I guess uptown, to the like financial seaport area, and she's gonna have like a lobster roll and just enjoy the last bit of warm weather in September. And she's really excited. Like, she is so excited that Delta Green has reached out to her. It's been years, and she went through like the ups and downs of wondering if the mission, the last, operation, if she fucked up. And she hasn't talked to Roger in, a little while. They talk on and off, and she thinks about him briefly and just about the old Delta Green stuff. But she's also mentally trying to prepare herself for what's to come, because she still struggles with her addiction. And last time, she had a lot of problems with the mission and then drinking and stuff like that. So I think she's really trying to stay focused and keep her giddiness down, so she also doesn't appear too eager. She's an older woman, and she feels silly for being so excited. But yeah. So
she's just counting the minutes until this meeting.
Yeah. And she's also people watching, because she's wondering, who else is here? Who else is here?
People watching where?
In the financial district. While she's having lunch. She's just as she walks around the city, she's kind of playing the game of, do you think I'm going to see them later? Do you think they're here for the mission? Anybody could be my handler.
Who's they?
People in the city.
People you know?
No, she's people watching.
So random people. You're looking at a random person and saying, I wonder if they're here for this mission. I wonder if they're Delta Green.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay, keeping it all secret.
Yeah.
Awesome. And that leaves Bobby, who is going to take a while to get there. I don't know if you really have time before this. I don't know. What do you think? What do you want to do in Boston, Bobby? It's like a tourist round table. If you had one day in Boston, it could do anything.
I would, I would go to the hotel, get
Actually,
refreshed.
No. Screw that.
No.
No. This is too, I don't like it. Let's do a scene. We need a scene. We need a Bobby scene. What's the airport? I forget
Logan.
it. Logan.
Oh, man,
so
Logan.
Logan Airport.
Oh, man, Logan.
This CIA. Oh man, Logan. This CIA chartered plane lands, and Bobby, you have made arrangements to be picked up at the airport.
Right.
And as you walk out the front door of the arrivals area out to get picked up, you see there's a young man who is leaning kind of on the hood of a car, looking over at you. He's got sunglasses on like Rogers. He's got aviators on. Looks like he's in his 30s, and he puts an arm up and waves to you. And just as he does, there's like a whoop, whoop, like a cop car like behind him, whooping at him to like get moving. And he just turns and he's like, "Give me a break, relax," and turns back to you. He's like, "He's right there. He's right there." And you know this guy.
Good to see you're keeping a low profile, Radek.
Please, these guys, they're a joke. Come on, get in. Let's get out of here. And he gets in the car with you, and we see Bobby pulls away with this young man, sunglasses behind the wheel, and he goes by, what is it, Radek? Radek. And he turns to you and says, "What's the rush, man?" As he's pulling out of the airport.
This is a high priority mission I'm on right now.
Oh, high priority. And he like puts like the sunglasses down, like looks at you for a second. Anything you want to tell me about?
Look, you'd be wise to remember the lessons of your uncle and be professional in all things, including simple tasks such as picking someone up at the airport, okay?
Sure, right. And he goes rooting around in the center console, and he pulls out a pack of cigarettes, and he puts a cigarette in his mouth, lights it up, rolls down the window, starts smoking. You want one?
No, I'm trying to quit.
Speaking of being professional, you call me in the middle of the night. You tell me you got this urgent situation. I feel like you're on some kind of op, and you're not telling me anything.
Just on a need-to-know basis. I told you when we worked together.
All right.
Everything is on a need-to-know.
You're so boring, Bobby. You're so boring.
I swear, if it wasn't for your Uncle Nikolai, I wouldn't be bothered with you. You understand that?
And Nikolai is his first name of Mr. Kremensky.
Nikolai Kremensky.
If you recall from season 4, this was one of Bobby's Ukrainian contacts. He mentioned in that season a nephew that was back home and being trained in Russia for something. He asked Bobby to keep an eye on him. So just a reminder to people that may have forgotten this minor detail. But now we fast forward 20 years later, and it seems this guy is in America, and he's in Boston, and he's picking Bobby up from the airport. So we'll just cut away from that. We'll leave you with that for now. And we'll go with whatever you want to do, Bobby, last before we head to the John.
So, Radek will take Bobby to his airport, get his stuff in there, or to his hotel from the airport, and get all of his stuff in there, get him settled, and then take off.
Before he goes, he's just like, I'm available. Anything you need. If you need me in on this, just let me know. I got your back.
Stay by the phone and just be ready.
Easy enough. And he'll take off with like a smile on his face. Just a very bright and happy dude. Very kind of, we'll learn more about Radek, that crazy son of a bitch. But anyway, let's cut to September 1st. Day of. Does anybody do anything before the evening, before this meeting happens? Or do we just want to cut to the meeting, which is fine by me. I just don't want to bowl you over if you're like, wait, I wanted to.
There was one thing that I wanted to do. I think that Neil, he has contacts in the jewelry district in New York. And he, on the charter, as he's flying, that night, he arranges for a pretty expensive, funky tennis bracelet to be delivered to Roby. He calls Genito at Uncut Gems and has it deliver this, really, like a $4,000 bracelet with a note. It's like, happy birthday.
Oh, amazing.
Nice. Slick.
I like it.
I think Roger is in the locker room at the Boston Sports Club. And he's standing there, just a towel. He's got a little swell on from a couple days of hitting it hard. And he sees a guy walk by that makes eyes at Roger. And Roger just kind of casually looks at him, and the guy walks towards the back of the locker room. And Roger looks around and follows him towards the back. And the guy opens up a locker, puts something in, and Roger opens up another locker and puts an envelope in. And then the guy walks over to the locker that Roger put that in, pulls out the envelope and walks away. Roger walks to the other locker after, some time. He's being very slick about it. Opens it up and grabs some anabolic steroids.
Yeah.
And shoves them into his gym bag.
That explains a lot.
Shit, that explains a lot. Okay. All right. So this is on September 1st. So we'll say you're getting showered up, and then we'll cut to the evening of September 1st. This party invitation said it was 8 p.m. at the Gateway Bridges restaurant on Potash Street in Boston. What time do you arrive, Bobby?
About 5 minutes before. 5 minutes early.
Neil?
10 minutes before.
Vicky?
Also 10 minutes before, and she's vaping outside.
For 10 minutes?
No, she walks around the block a few times. She's like so excited, but she doesn't want to be there too early.
Okay.
Oh, I see. Actually, if I see her waiting there, I will stop and say hello, and then I'll pull out a cigarette and I'll smoke with her.
Oh, okay.
As we're waiting.
Oh, so
Well, wait a minute. Hold on. Let me just get through Roger. When are you arriving, Roger?
Roger arrives 90 minutes beforehand.
Oh my god.
Exactly. That's why it's just a real quick run through.
He stakes out the building from across the street and just sits on a park bench, inconspicuous, watching people come in and out.
Okay, so you said, so let's start with Roger then, because we're going to start from 90 minutes before. So now it is 6:30 p.m. Roger's showered up, and he's sitting across the way, just monitoring the restaurant. It looks like a normal, unremarkable restaurant. It backs up on Gateway Park, and the park itself is this stone-walled municipal park, and you're checking it out from like a surveillance standpoint. You see that there would be, it would be easy from within the park to actually, get a clear view of the restaurant as well, if you wanted to look back from that way. People are coming and going. That looks like kind of like regular customers coming and going all the way up and through. Go ahead and give me a search roll.
The old search roll, eh? That is a 61 over 25.
Yeah, you don't see anything unusual. You see, people coming and going. Yeah, I can't say anything else from there. So yeah, you just see it's routine. And we'll say, Roger, you're sitting there and nobody quite notices as Vicky walks up to the restaurant, looks, and then stops and starts vaping outside. You see her before she sees you. Wait, that's not fair! Vicky!
Yes.
Roll alertness because you're being hunted.
Thank you, because I was like, that's not fair. I was thinking the same thing.
I'd like to roll alertness because I'm better at it.
No.
Alertness is, I kind of lean on alertness when like you're in danger. Like there's something that's like you got to catch real quick, not like
Reacting to something.
Yeah, you're reacting to something.
The hairs on the back of Vicky's neck stands up as she's looking up at the name of the restaurant and like looking at her phone. I mean, she took a picture of the invite. It's on her phone, just making sure she's at the right place, kind of looking around. And she rolled a 50 under 52.
Oh, because she leveled it up during season 4.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And
nice.
she just gets like a prickly, I don't know if I would see, if he's so far away, I don't know if I would actually see Roger.
It's not that far. You absolutely know that somebody is watching you. And I could just see this. She looks across the street. And what does she see, Roger? Does she see you?
Yeah, so I mean, imagine Roger at this moment is distracted, and he's just lighting up another cigarette and looking down, and like he found a stain on his pants he's trying to wipe off, and he's like spitting on his hand and wiping out the stain as he smokes. So he let his guard down for a second.
And yeah, Vicky, gets this weird feeling, turns around and she's vaping, and kind of squints across the street. And her hair's longer now. She doesn't have a pixie cut anymore. And it's kind of like blowing, and she blows the hair and looks at this car and sees this like big guy with aviator sunglasses. And then she immediately turns back around and doesn't know what to do for a second because she's also like, that can't be Roger.
Also, he's not in a car, right?
Oh, I thought he's in a park
I'm
bench.
on the park bench, right across the street.
Oh, she knows it's 1,000% she knows. Okay, so she turns back around and she cannot believe that it's Roger. And there's only one reason that Roger would also be here. And then that's when she goes to take a walk around the block.
Okay.
Because she doesn't know how to do that. She can't do that right now. She's going to take a walk around the block, and maybe when she gets back...
So no, before she gets back, as she's going around the block, she runs into Neil, who's coming up from another street and is walking. Is that okay, Neil? Are you walking up to the restaurant?
Yeah, sure.
And so you guys bump into each other around the corner where Roger can't see either of you.
And Vicky is happy. Vicky likes Neil a lot. She hasn't seen Dr. Buck, but also, does Neil look different? What does Neil look like now?
I think he looks pretty similar, I think he looks very similar to the last time you saw him. Maybe a little shorter, a little bit like older, but
the long hair still has the long hair.
Yeah, maybe the hair is shorter, like the mullet's gone. Just like it's got shorter hair, but yeah, it's definitely Neil.
I think she like looks up and you kind of like do the passing glance, and then she stops and she turns around, and she goes, "Murnau." Well.
Maybe it's Maybelline.
She's just cracking up. She smiles. She goes, there is no way that you just happen to be in Boston, Massachusetts today.
No, that would be a hell of a coincidence, wouldn't it? No. I think we know why we're here.
It's good to see you.
It's good to see you too.
Are you doing well? Are you doing well?
Yeah. And he pulls out some cigarettes and this little tool, this little like kind of bronze tool, he like unscrews it and he pulls it out and it's like a little bronze stick and he swipes it on the side of the thing that he pulls it out of and poof, it bursts into flames. Little flint, and he lights up the cigarette, screws it back in, the flame goes out, he screws it back in.
That's awesome.
Cool as hell.
Cool as hell. And you guys continue walking together?
Yeah, she's like, should we, do you want to head over?
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Before they walk, though, she goes, I saw Agent Messiah. He didn't see me, but I just wanted to let you know, I think.
Oh.
Well.
Okay.
We're not, we don't talk much anymore.
Okay. I didn't want
that's
to
another question. Does Neil know about any of this?
I don't know.
Do we know? Yeah, we don't know any of that.
I don't think I knew they were romantically involved at all.
Troy, what do you think? Because if they had a wedding, like, would we have invited them?
You don't know their identities.
Yeah, you would know.
I imagine there were like 2 people on the group side.
So I just think they wouldn't know, right? Like,
yeah, I imagine they kept it quiet and probably hid it from Delta Green, and that may have been some of the reasons why they haven't been used on any missions. Or in Roger's case, I think only 1 mission we said last week.
Well, see, that was the other question, is because I still have you as part of that, the 09
so
operation.
I'm using all those. Oh God, that's confusing, right? So, yeah, I mean, they used Roger, but I think there was probably a long period after the Night Floors where there was he was not getting the call, and then for Maybelline, it's been 20 years, right?
Right.
Yeah. And so I think it may be have something to do with the relationship. But once they got divorced, Roger was fair game again.
Yeah. So then retcon, she doesn't say that to Neil, but she does say, I saw Agent Messiah. I think maybe I I don't know. Maybe the whole team will be back together.
Oh, okay. And I think for my part, I think Neil might have at least sensed some chemistry happening between the two of you, even if nothing was out in the open.
Bobby was told by the handler that Roger and Vicky were literally hooking up. Like the handler told Bobby.
Well, he told Bobby that you spent the night at Roger's house.
Sure.
Yeah. So at least I know.
You could have just been playing cards.
That's right.
He could have just been showing me his bird.
Right. You could have just been comparing evidence.
Yeah.
Working
We're going
the
over
case.
evidence.
I think Bobby would have figured it out. I think Bobby definitely would have been like, okay, there's something going on here.
Yeah, so whether Bobby talked to, Myrna, maybe whoever, whatever, but Vicky doesn't outright say anything. So.
Yeah. Okay.
And then she walks.
And let's have Bobby. You're coming up to the restaurant while they're just around the corner. You're 5 minutes before you're walking up, and
Bobby walks.
Roll alertness.
Oh God! Yeah, I was gonna say. Gonna look
Because
around.
everybody's being hunted by Roger.
Just sitting there.
73 over 41. No.
Okay, so you don't see him, Roger. You see Bobby flippin' Walford walking up the street to this restaurant.
He knows right then and there what's going on. Because he had this sick feeling. And, he hasn't seen anybody else, but when he sees Bobby, he just knows the band's getting back together. And the implications of that, he is not, he can't quite wrap his head around. But, I think he watches and waits and maybe, make sure he can't be seen. Waits for Bobby to go in.
All right, so Bobby, do you go in?
Takes a quick look around. Bobby goes in.
Bobby walks in. At that point, Neil and Vicky come around the corner. They're aware of Roger's presence, and Roger, you for the first time see the two of them coming together from around the corner.
Oh, scandal.
And walking up toward the restaurant.
And Roger's just behind a car.
Talking behind a car.
Watching, and he sees all three of them. Obviously, his eyes are just transfixed on Vicky.
And Vicky, what do you do as you walk back up to the restaurant and finish your smoke?
She looks across the street. She saw Roger before, and she looks back. Does she see him, or now you're hiding behind a car?
Yeah, now he's behind a car. You can't.
Okay. She can't quite see him now because he moved from the bench, but she looks back and she takes the second, and maybe you feel like she does see you. She's looking through the cars that are parked. Troy's moving further off camera. I think Troy left the room.
Just peeking his head out.
But she kind of does a glance, and then she just turns around. She doesn't know what Roger. She knows Roger is doing something, and she just watches. Ridiculous, Troy. She just turns back to Agent Murnau. She says, "We should probably go in."
Yeah.
And the two of you walk in?
Yep.
Yeah, Vicky does one more glance behind, just where the fuck did Roger go? And she turns back inside.
All right, it's 7:57, Raj. You're across the street. Everybody's walked in. Looks like the band's getting back together. What do you do?
Just takes one last puff, flicks it down the street, and sachets in through the front door.
Sachets in through the front door.
Straightens his bomber jacket and goes in.
When Roger opens up the door to the restaurant, we hear the familiar chatter and clanging clang of people talking and plates being moved and knives and forks and people eating of a regular size restaurant, maybe about 20 total tables, something like that. And there is a woman, a hostess working the front, and she's just like, welcome to the Gateway Bridges restaurant. How can I help you? and you see that the other three have walked back, and you can see them walking into the back of the room, back of the restaurant.
I see that.
Yes.
He tells the hostess.
How can I help you?
Where's the bathroom?
It's right over there. Do you have a reservation?
And he just walks past her to go follow
sir,
three people.
And then she turns to somebody. She's like, "You're not allowed to use the restroom." And the other person's like, "I don't know what to do. He's huge." And
See that guy?
He's huge.
do you see that guy? As you walk over to the restroom, Roger, to your left, you see the others are walking toward a room in the back, has its own door, and there is a easel outside with a sign leaning on it that says, "Happy Birthday, Richard," and has the Zielony birthday party, 8 p.m. private party, marked on it. And let's cut to you three, okay? So the three of you walk
Feels
into
like
this
it.
room.
This feels like the latter half of the story.
Yes, we're older.
Older. Yeah.
We're all trauma bonded now.
Yes.
It's like,
We immediately start unloading on each other about everything that's happened because we feel so comfortable.
Janice left me, guys.
Oh, no. Makeshift, no.
Terrible.
Beep, makeshift.
Yeah, it is so weird. Like, you barely have time to talk because you see each other. You can say hi for a second, but then there's this room in the back of the restaurant. So what do you do? Like, do you just walk directly into this room, or do you stop and talk to each other? Like, what do you do?
I feel like we all got to stop just to give like, credence to the fact that we're all together again.
Yeah.
And that just even if it's just a minute.
The elephant in the room. We have to recognize this moment. I think we all sat by the easel. Well, Roger doesn't, but
right.
I think Vicky also sees, makeshift and is also like confirmed in her thought that she told Murnau. She goes, "Well, okay. I think makeshift, it's good to see you. I think we know what's going on here."
It's good to see you guys too.
I think we would just have this unique bond, having been through that experience together.
Yeah.
Being the only
real.
people in the world that would be able to.
We fucking chopped a woman. Murnau chopped a woman up. Roger
we
tried to burn her in a fireplace.
Yeah.
We did that for hours.
Yeah. This is why, it makes me think of it, because it really is like a similar kind of vibe, I think.
Great comparison. It's like, you can't even describe it. There's no need for words in certain moments. Like Vicky is truly just saying, like, you look good, like you look well.
Yeah.
And it's almost like she's just saying, like, I'm happy you're still here. I'm happy we're here.
Yeah.
You're alive.
I think a lot
We're
of
all
this is unsaid, but it's just this vibe, like immediately, like just kind of clicking into these old roles.
Yeah.
Totally.
Totally.
Okay. Well, while you're chatting out there, let's just say you guys are getting reacquainted for a second. Oh, I think I know what's happening here. And then you hear the voice of a man come from the private room, and he's just inside the door. He kind of leans out, and he looks to be slightly older than all of you. African-American man, maybe late 60s, early 70s. And he just kind of like leans out, smiles, is like, "I see some old friends getting back together. Please, come in. Let's enjoy the birthday party." He says, like a little bit louder. "Enjoy the birthday party." And takes a few steps back and waits for you to come in.
We follow.
Yeah.
Bobby walks in, and he says, "Agent Makeshift, thank you for coming. Please sit down. Murnau and Maybelline, please. You may call me Agent Exeter. Have a seat." And he sits down I guess we're just waiting for Messiah.
And when you say that, he's standing at the doorway.
Like Batman.
He turns and looks up at you. Ah, Messiah. The one and only. Please come in. Have a seat. Settle in.
Where's everybody sitting?
The round table?
It's kind of like a long round, not round, it's a long rectangular table with plenty of space like on either end to, you don't have to like, whatever. It's just, you sit wherever you want.
Yeah,
I think Vicky has an open seat next to her. Just saying.
Roger looks at that seat and goes as far away from it as possible.
What? All right, so Roger moves down the other end, and at this point, again, little bit of an older guy, tall, older guy. He stands up from his chair as Messiah comes in and clears, and he steps up to the door, kind of peeks onto the restaurant, and then closes the door behind him. Comes in, sits back down. Thank you all for answering the call. I know this is rather strange. For many of you, I know it's been a very long time. I presume none of you have seen each other since Alice. And he's just regarded with silence. Well, I'll get right to it then. You've been called up here because of an incident at a hospital here in Boston. The Dorchester House. It is a mental hospital, and 2 patients have escaped the facility. The patients, they were part of our program. Part of Delta Green. And this facility, while it does cater to all manner of those with mental illness, it particularly specializes in those with experience in post-traumatic stress, mental disorders that leave people violent and dangerous to themselves and others. Also, the man who runs the facility, Dr. Dallin, is a friendly of Delta Green. So it has, over the years, become a facility that those who have experienced too much exposure can go to convalesce and get well. 2 of these agents have gone missing. And he'll reach into a bag that he has, and he'll pull out a piece of paper. Well, actually, it's a photograph. He pulls out a photograph. He says, as to the details of who they are and what happened, a lot of that is for you to find out, but I think you can imagine there's one clear reason why you've been called in. It seems that there is some connection. A connection to an operation from 20 years ago. And he pulls out this photograph and puts it down on the table near Neil and Bobby and Vicky, several feet away from Roger, who sits alone down the end of the table. And if you'll go to where, to your billboard, where the invitation is, you can see a photograph. This was written on one of the patient's walls in their own blood. And he drops this photograph in front of you. Can you read it, Skid?
Abigail Wright has gone to sea. Cross the waves to rescue me. In a ship both tall and fine, she rounds the corner, marking time.
And we'll see you next time.
Oh, He's back. God damn it.
Why is she back?
Why is she back? Oh, man. Well, more to do next time. More to do next time. Tip of the berg. Tip of the berg. All right. Thanks, everybody. Good night. Thanks for hanging out.
Good night, guys.
And we'll see you next time when we dig in. Amazing.